Operating a legitimate business in Jamaica takes acumen, courage, and savvy. Experts such as American venture capitalist and business turnaround specialist Brennan realize that shrewd entrepreneurs not only know when the business is going well, but also able to recognize the early signs of serious trouble.
One of the basic tenets of turnaround management is when you get into trouble, you're not going to be able to be led out of trouble with the same team that brought you into the mess. You need to get some outside help to do it. Now, there's differing degrees of what does that outside help mean. On one extreme, it's you actually hire a turnaround guy who comes in and runs the company. Very expensive. May not be something that's practical. On the other end, you can get some help and advice to try to help navigate what you're dealing with here. But it is critical that you get some help, and you get it as quickly as you can while you still can afford to get some help. Now, this sort of begs the question, doesn't it? Because if I say you need to get outside help as soon as you're in serious trouble, the question is, so when am I in serious trouble? Again, most entrepreneurs and business owners that I know are so optimistic. Something bad happens. Oh, I took a bullet to the head. Oh, it's not a problem. No, I'm fine. I'm going to, tomorrow's going to be better. Or you lost this customer. Oh, no, we're going to conquer the next mountain. Everything's great. That's a problem. You guys got to learn to figure out when you're in serious trouble. And to me, the answer of when you're in serious trouble has to do with what your cash flow forecast says. You live or die by a weekly cash flow forecast. Now, I bet you if I surveyed all the business owners out there and said, how many of you folks out there have a weekly cash flow projection, a weekly cash flow forecast, the answer would be very few, if any, of you do. It's something that's not commonly done in my experience. And again, I deal with lots and lots of companies. And I've often wondered why, because it is such an amazing device to really help you understand your business and understand where your business is going. I have a saying that I tell to business owners all the time, and that is, if you can't model your business, do a cash flow forecast going forward on your business, you really don't understand your business. Until you can really do that and do a reasonably accurate one, you're just sort of living day by day, and it's all guesswork. You need to figure out how your business works. And if you put that together into a model, that becomes your blueprint for what you're going to do. So it really can be an amazing tool for you.
Brennan was speaking at a May 26, 2011 seminar put on by Winsome Minot's Mint Management and Finance Services Limited. Speaking at the same seminar, Robert Johnson, the CEO of American software company Muroc Systems LLC, noted the revolution triggered by so-called cloud computing. Now, those of you who are proponents of virtual offices will like this.
The biggest change in software and technology today is something you may have heard about called the Internet. We've all heard about that? Okay, good. Just checking. But actually, really what people are talking about today is the cloud more than the Internet. The Internet to many people is websites and things like that, and what it's really evolved into is a way to deliver software. And it's really changing everything we do in the software business and everything you do as a consumer of software as well. In many ways, the cloud computing goes back to the 1970s, where we had dumb terminals talking to mainframes that were sitting off in some room someplace. The 1980s took us away from mainframes and brought the era of personal PCs around and freed people from mainframes and brought in personal computing, like that old one from me recognizes one of those. I used to have one of those on my desktop. We moved from the mainframe to the desktop PC in the 1980s and really through, obviously, today. But the movement away from the PC and having software installed in your PC started in really the early 2000s and has been accelerating rapidly. More and more software is being offered today on the web, in the web only, with no provision to install it on a desktop PC whatsoever. The benefits to the end user are numerous. It includes lower costs and no need to install and maintain expensive servers and hardware. You simply pay the provider a monthly fee, and they take care of everything else for you. They've got the servers, they've got the hardware, everything else. All you need is a very basic computer and a connection to the Internet. The generic term for this type of software, software delivered over the web, is SaaS, Software as a Service, SaaS. And you'll hear that term now in the media quite a bit. Two companies that I'm involved with are now 100% virtual. We have no physical presence whatsoever, none at all. And all the employees work out of their houses or, in some cases, contract offices. We use almost exclusively cloud products to manage these businesses. We don't have any place to put servers. We have nobody to manage the hardware. So we use cloud services and SaaS services for everything we do. Almost every type of application you can imagine now has a cloud version of it. You can also rent cloud servers, actually physical computers sitting in a building someplace to manage applications that you don't have in the cloud. In fact, we use QuickBooks for our accounting. And there is actually a QuickBooks version that's online, but we don't use that. We actually rent a server. I think it's in Arizona, but I really don't care. And we access that all via the internet and use our applications there.
However, like most things, there's a downside to the so-called cloud technology.
However, the cloud does have some downsides. By putting information on somebody else's server, you are potentially compromising your security. A company now holds your critical data, and you are at their mercy. You hope that they stay in business, and you really cross your fingers about that, and they also protect your data from theft and from hardware failure. In fact, this morning, it's not a SaaS application, but this morning I just read a story about Sony having another data breach. So another 2,000 or 3,000 credit card numbers went out, and a hacker got them. So that's potentially the downside of having your data at somebody else's cloud. The good news is the vast majority of cloud-based software companies are very trustworthy and realize their business relies on keeping your data safe and secure. I run a cloud-based software company, and I can assure you we spend a great deal of time, effort, and money making sure that your data is secure and safe. And I know that other companies do as well. The other downside of the cloud is you are reliant on a connection to the internet. And that sounds obvious, but I want to make sure you understand that. While the internet is becoming more and more ubiquitous every day, and we can access it even on airplanes now, there are still times and places where you cannot get online. And of course, if you're not online, you have no access to cloud servers and cloud applications. And that can be an issue depending on how you use your systems and where you use them.
Grace Kennedy's Chief Financial Officer, Faye McIntosh, who spoke on financial efficiency, noted the value of performance metrics and making timely and relevant financial reports.
You should determine what are the relevant financial performance measures or metrics required by the business. Ensure delivery of consistent, accurate, timely, and relevant management information to support decision-making and risk management across the business. An efficient finance function will provide performance metrics measures which are relevant and appropriate to their organization for decision-making. It's not just about providing information. It has to be relevant. So one has to identify the true business drivers geared towards strategic decision-making and value creation. You need to identify these drivers, which of course you're going to need some deep analysis and understanding of the business. It's important that the financial persons don't just sit in their offices and they need to get out and understand the business that they're in. And they need to understand its processes, its operations. Simply stated, effective performance reporting should help management understand and improve the organization's performance. An effective, efficient finance function must identify and closely monitor the right set of performance indicators to move the organization forward. And you use these tools such as ratio analysis. Ratio analysis is a very powerful tool, actually, and it is fundamental for management to evaluate the health of the firm's operation. So there are different types of ratios that can be used. Finding out where the firm's cash is tied up in inventories and receivables can help to shed some light on how efficiently it is being managed. So you would use efficiency ratios such as inventory turnover, total asset turnover, and accounts receivable turnover. And they offer different measures of the firm's effectiveness. They allow you to judge how well your business is using its assets and to determine if changes can be made. These ratios are really very helpful in determining how efficiently your business is operating. So it's important to explore these different ratios. Another area for efficiency in terms of providing information to management is with timely and relevant reports. There's so much inefficiency in this because there are always a number of reports being provided with questionable value. And the delay in providing this information is really sometimes quite inefficient. The average management report is not only too long, usually, but it's also complex. And managers typically only use a fraction of the information as it is not useful in helping them to make decisions. So, finance persons, we believe that we, have the answers and we will provide what we think we want to provide, but it has to be relevant and timely. I will tell you a story. It was certainly with my organization many years ago, many years ago. Our monthly financials used to be produced in the, I think it was the 15th working day. And we thought we were doing pretty well. And then one day we realized, if you wait until the 15th working day after the end of the month to provide your financials, you're not going to be able to correct anything that has gone wrong in the previous month. So we just made an edict, 4th working day, cut off. And it's amazing what that did. It meant that we would have had it out by maybe the 3rd working day. So things that had gone wrong, you'd get to it